Pugh. That'll do it! That will do it! Pugh for Bournemouth! The roof of the Gold Sands is raised! Everyone here knows what that could mean to this football.
Hello and welcome to the Matchday morning show here on Back of the Net as Cherries look to maintain their unbeaten start to the season with a tricky test at the Potters. My name's Sam Davis.
I'm Morgan Scott.
And let's check the weather for Stoke-on-Trent, shall we, Morgan? I know you've got it in front of you. Is it cold?
Check.
Is it wet?
Check.
Is it windy?
Check.
Oh my God. Plus it's a Tuesday, so it's the archetypal horrible trip up to Staffordshire. And Morgan, you've done Stoke City before, right?
Yeah, I have. I did it in 2017 when we beat the Potter 2-1, thanks to Andrew Sermon. Not that he got many goals for AFC Bournemouth. And also from Junior Stanislas. I believe it was a penalty from the penalty spot. So yeah, it was a great experience. And to be heading back up there with yourself and some of the back of the net team on a Tuesday night, it's going to be enjoyable, but it's going to be wet.
Looking forward to it, and thank you to everyone that's joined us. I appreciate it's 10:30 in the morning. Everyone's at work. Who's even watching this stuff? But maybe if you're catching up with this during your lunch or even later on tonight before the match, which is live on Sky. Hello, we're going and we're really looking forward to it. Not so much the element. So on this show, what we're going to be talking about? Well, Robbie Brady, he signed yesterday. That's another signing that went under the radar. We'll chat to Morgan about that, chat to you about it too. Eddie Howe to Newcastle. Could it happen? Rumours are circling on Twitter at the moment. We'll briefly chat about that Bristol City performance. We'll do an injury roll call before we check out the facts and figures and get some Stoke City insight. We'll have your thoughts, of course, the pubs and predictions, and of course, your chosen 11 as well. And as ever, you know the drill. Just above my head, you can see a link. You can go to afcbpodcast.com/take part. That's the link that you need to go to. Right, there's a little lad in the States, in Florida, that woke up early, especially for this show. No prizes if you get it right. It's Daniel from Florida, and I'm loving the fact that you're wearing your island shirt. Daniel, you all right, mate?
Yeah.
Good. What time is it there?
5:33.
Man, and look, you're wearing an Ireland shirt in tribute to Robbie Brady, right? It could be a good signing for Bournemouth.
Yeah, but on the Ireland shirt I have Gavin Kilkenny on the back. But both.
What you need, mate, is like a series of magnets, so you can almost put on which name you want for that given time. So you can just change it at the top of a hat. Saves you buying two shirts. Daniel, Bristol City was good, wasn't it? But this is going to be a real tricky test today against a club where one of our former players might be in action, and I'm sure he'll be wanting to get one over his former side.
That's like the only thing I don't want to see today, him scoring, okay? I felt pain when Wilson scored against us last year against Cardiff. I just don't want, if he scores, I would actually be more mad than us drawing or winning, because I do not want him to score, because we knew he was a good player, but we just gave him away. And I feel like he could have been the perfect person to do two up top, but we didn't. So I just don't want to see him score. That's the only thing I don't want to see today.
Morgan, nice to see some regulars in chat, eh?
Yeah, absolutely. We got Chris Hubble here. We got Daniel, who's here as well. We got Mark Carl. We got Rob Wells. We got Tom Jordan. Get off the live and pick me up already, he said. Gutted. I'm sure we'll be on our way very soon, TJ. Gutted. Rich Neil, have a great trip, Tom.
And
Daniel
Tom says,
is different class. Yeah,
100%.
to be fair, I just want to reiterate what Tom's saying then. It's fantastic. Thank you so much, Daniel. We do appreciate your commitment here to the channel and coming on at 5:30 in the morning. I'm not sure many people would do that. So you're a legend from everyone associated with Back of the Net.
Lucy's here as well, and also Martin as well. Yeah, Martin, good morning from Michigan, and up the Cherries. We'll be listening on AFCB. Daniel, before you go, mate, we'll do a quick prediction with you.
I just hope he doesn't. If he scores, I'll be really mad. 1-0 I think 1-0.
1-0.
1-0 will be a good score against
Brilliant.
really bad day weather.
Yeah, I know. Can't wait for that. Daniel, thanks for coming on, mate. Really appreciate it. And mate, you've got time to get about an hour's sleep before you can wake up, mate. So I'll be going back to bed if I were you, mate. Cheers for coming on.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Oh, I nearly cut him off there. Let me. No, I can't. He's gone. So what we're going to do is cover Parker's presser. There wasn't one, so I think we need to talk about Robbie Brady, maybe. And Morgan, there's been a very quick turnaround, and the media team have obviously been incredibly busy over the last 24 hours or so. Firstly, can you, I don't know if you've been doing your research, what position does he even play in? Because there seems to be a lot of people sort of saying, well, he plays left back, he can play, attacking midfield. I've got no idea.
So I've done some background information on him, and he can play either on the wing, or he can actually play either right or left back. So that might help with the with Jordan tomorrow going into the African Cup of Nations at some point in the next couple of weeks. I think it's obviously a good another player bringing in. I'm not, that doesn't sound to be disrespectful to Leif Davey, but I think Leif Davey is down the pecking order a bit, but we'll have to wait and see. But I think it's obviously with Brooksy starting treatment and being with it being such a long season, to have someone like Robbie Brady with his experience on a free. He had the chance of being promoted before with Hull City, and so he knows what it is, and he also speaks Irish as well, so I'm sure he'll get on well with Gav and Mr. Travers. So no, it's really exciting, and it wasn't what I was expecting on a Monday morning. I don't know about you, Sam, but it's quite, AFC Bournemouth are quite sneaky these days. It's like we don't know what's going on, and then this comes out on Twitter.
All our signings seem to be under the radar at the moment. I completely agree. And just to confirm, the African Nations Cup, I think, is in January. But you know what? These players need to bed in. And Leif Davis, I feel a bit sorry for him, because the first time I saw him was playing on the right wing at Birmingham, where he had a pretty awful game, but that's not his position. And he's not really played in the position that he probably should be. But Robbie Brady, he's still only 29, I think. He's got a lot of experience there, and looking forward to seeing him in action. Another person that might be looking forward to seeing him in action, as he is AFC Bournemouth, is Aaron Kay. He's with us. Aaron, how are you?
Okay, good morning, chaps.
And whilst we will talk about Robbie Brady in this segment, we cannot not talk about that performance on Saturday, Aaron. It was, in many ways, the complete performance. Maybe just lacked a few more goals, but in terms of performance levels, I thought we were exceptional.
Yeah, I think I said to you after the game, the only criticism, and it was really nitpicking, was that we didn't score more goals and really kill teams off. I think, Parker really wanted to make a statement to the league and score a load of goals. But you're right, everything else about the performance was perfect. It was just the consummate away performance. Kept them quiet at the back. Some unbelievable play, really good movement, interplay, fantastic to watch. And as I said, just unlucky we didn't score more goals.
And Morgan, after 7 minutes, it was so nice to see everyone's reaction inside the stadium. It was not only inside the stadium. The Sheffield United fans were giving them a round of applause after 36, which was his number over at Bramall Lane. And you know what? The nation's come together like you wouldn't believe, especially on social media as well. But on 7 minutes, throughout the game as well, Bournemouth fans were chanting his name. And I'm sure the players, Morgan, probably had him in the front of their sort of minds whilst putting in that performance, because they obviously played for him, didn't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I think they gave that extra maybe 10-20%, and you could see that it was an emotional day for everyone connected with AFC Bournemouth. I thought there were also, I don't know if any of you guys saw on social media, but the Millwall also had warm-up t-shirts. They didn't get well seen Brooksy. I thought that was a really nice gesture. And also the fact that when Jamal got his first goal for the club, it was straight over to that corner flag with a Brooks shirt, and I thought that was a nice touch as well. So yeah, it was really special, and I'm sure people will keep remembering David Brooks until he is back doing what he does best on that AFC Bournemouth pitch.
I got a comment here from Bob who left a message with regards to hope you've had your breakfast. So he left a tongue-in-cheek message on the vlog saying, can't believe you went down But to my, in my defence, so many people did because it was on 45 minutes, and I hadn't had any lunch. Steve Hensman did. You'd have seen on the vlog he had a massive fish and chips, and because I just sort of roam around and chat to people, I just forgot. And I was so hungry. I said, I need to go down relatively early, make sure I get something. And lo and behold, there's this kind of. It's so weird when you're in the concourse and you hear this celebration. You hear a roar from somewhere, and you're thinking, okay, is that our fans? Is it their fans? Thankfully, it was ours, and it caused jubilant scenes on the concourse. So, Bob, for you, I'm eating beforehand, and I'll make sure it's documented on the vlog just for you, buddy. Aaron, nice to see Jamal Lowe get on the score sheet on Saturday. Eh?
Yeah, no, it was great. I mean, he's a goal scorer. He scored 14 or so goals last season in the league for Swansea, and although they made the playoffs, what I still think was a relatively poor team. So he's obviously got that instinct. I don't think we're going to be at the stage where he's rotating for Dom, although he can obviously do that if Dom does need a rest at some stage or obviously picks up an injury. But yeah, he shows the strings to his bow. He can play anywhere across the front three.
Yeah, and we're mixing up these scorers, Morgan, and we scored an excellent second as well, didn't we?
Yeah, it was a thunderbolt from Jordan Tamora. I thought it really was fantastic. You thought for a minute he was going to cross it, but the lad's not shy of confidence. What is he, just coming up 21 and he's just incredible. I think that's third goal this season. He worked so well with Phil Bill and Jaden Anthony, and he's the first name in that, one of the first names in that team sheet at the moment. And there's just it's going to take something special not to have him back on that team. So no, he's incredible, and it's just nice to see there's so many players wanting to score a goal rather than just relying on Solanke. I think it's incredible, and it's just really exciting at the moment. And as Aaron said, we should have had 5 or 6, but that was probably only the negative from the day. But in terms of the performance, it was electric, and the atmosphere was incredible. I couldn't hear Bristol City whatsoever.
No, I couldn't. Now, remember, as there was no Sunday second look, that was partially because we were in Bristol for the weekend. Wouldn't have been time, although we didn't have the personnel to do it. Tomorrow night at 8 p.m, you can join us live for a second look where we're going to dissect the Stoke City performance, but also talk more about Bristol City as well. And that's going to be put out as an audio pod as well on Thursday morning. So apologies about the delay, but when you've got 2 matches so close together, we thought, you know what, we'll kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So tomorrow, live at 8 on this channel, you can watch our second look with the usual team. So we're really looking forward to that. And, Bristol City, it would be nice to have a performance like that again, Aaron, against the Potters. But I've got a feeling it's going to be a different kind of match tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't got a bad feeling about this game as such. I just think it's going to be a very, very tough match. I thought Saturday would be tough, especially missing some of the players we had out, but it was comfortable in the end. But Stoke, for me, are a different kettle of fish. They obviously beat West Brom with a really good performance a couple of weeks ago. As you say, the archetypal game for you two on a Tuesday night away in a cold, wet, windy Stoke. It's going to be very, very tough. I know we spoke again after the game saying it'd be great to get another 3 points. If you offered it me now, I'd bite your hand off for a draw. 4 points in these 2 games, or 7, or whatever it is, 10 from the last 12, whatever it might be, is a great return. I think we still come out tonight unbeaten. Right now, I think I'd take that. Obviously, if we're dominating the game again and don't score, that's a different story. But right now, I think I would take that. I'm sure for you two, you wouldn't want to go up, see a 0-0, but I'd probably take it now, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I think 4 points from those 2 games, whichever way round that they would come, I'd be happy with. But now I'm thinking about it with the confidence that we've got. Stoke put in a decent performance against Sheffield United. To be fair, I was watching a little bit of the highlights actually of that match, and Stoke City seemed to dominate the entire first half and also the first part of the second. In fact, they took the lead, and then it was Mousset and McGoldrick, I think, that made it 2-1. For the Blades, but they put in a decent performance. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. We got Robbie Sargent, who says he's going to be happy to take a point. We'll do some more predictions later on, including Rob's, who submitted his on chat. Won't put it on screen just yet. But Robbie, hope you're right. I know you had a dental operation yesterday with the extraction of a tooth or 2. So hope you're all good. Maybe not the singing later on. Also, we've got a message from Alan Kimber, who's watching, just put it on screen, watching in Perth, but also Duncan Spokes. Looking forward to seeing you later. Also, Peter Rowe, thank you so much. I actually put this on Twitter as well, Peter. I hope you don't mind. You put a really lovely comment on our free-for-all video that we did outside Ashton Gate. It was so nice to see what a difference this channel's making to certain people's lives if they're kind of exiled. So really appreciate it. And Kirk does the same with his channel that Aaron's part of as well. So yeah, really looking forward to documenting it again on the vlog. But before you go, Aaron, have you got a cheeky prediction?
Yeah, look, if we turn up like we can and we play like we can, I think you'll obviously discuss with Morgan later the predicted lineup. I would make a couple of changes. I think it's a very, very difficult thing to do after such a great performance, but there are certain players who I think have got their names perfect for this kind of game. We can clearly win the game without a doubt, but I just got a feeling tonight that it's going to be very, very tough. I think the atmosphere is going to be great under the lights for them. It's going to be difficult conditions. I'm going to predict a 1-1 draw. As I said, I hope I'm not being too negative. I don't think that's a bad result. I really don't. But if we do come away with a win, then we really are flying, in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And the request, Sam, for you and Tom, if you can stand on the concourse the whole game, you might score a lot of goals.
You're probably not the first person who's going to say that. Aaron, thanks very much for coming on.
Thanks, guys. Safe journey up, boys.
Thank you.
Bring home the point.
And it's time to check out the opposition, eh, Morgan?
Oh, absolutely. Let's do this.
And look at this comment. Look at this comment from Robbie. He said, "We've been on a Stoke forum. They still don't like us, calling us cheats. Happy to see an Adam Smith tumble for a winning penalty in the 95th minute. Wouldn't that be nice, eh?"
Oh, absolutely. Hopefully we'll get a penalty in the 95th minute. That'd make the trip even more special, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it absolutely would. And Michael O'Neill is manager at Stoke City. He's in his 3rd season with the club, but this is actually going to be his 2nd full season in charge with the Potters. And his team have had a very good start to the Championship season. And after 12 games, they're lying 5th in the table with 21 points. So they're the only team to have beaten West Brom this season, actually. Their home form is the 2nd best in the Championship with 5 wins and a draw. AFC Bournemouth, of course, as we know, we're top of the Championship with 28 points. This time last season, after a dozen games, the Baggies were 7th with 21 points. Sorry, the Potters were in that position. The Cherries were in 2nd spot with 23 points. Morgan, you're clearing your throat there. I certainly hope you're clearing it to sing a lot of songs, because I want you to be absolutely rampant on the terraces later. You're going to be, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just warming up for later when we hopefully can cheer the boys on and hopefully cheer them over the line to get the job done. So yeah, but yeah, no, it's just what you were saying there. I think it's that isn't actually a bad return for a side like Stoke City. I wouldn't. They're obviously much better off than they were this time last season. So I think that's actually quite good for them to be in 5th. And I'm sure, talking to Stoke fans, if we did speak to any, they would probably take that as well.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, look, shall we mention the name Sam Surridge, Tom? Tom, Morgan. Tom's not here. I've got Tom on the brain. He's just texted me. He's going to want to get one over his former club, isn't he? He's going to.
I wouldn't put it past him. Just the way that Sam Surridge comes on, and we saw it, he can run the channel. But obviously you've got Lloyd and Cahill at the back, and they have been immense throughout the season. So he's going to have to do something pretty special. But I wouldn't put it past someone like Sam Surridge to come on and run the channel for 15-20 minutes at the end and make it a bit squeaky bum time. But it's going to be interesting.
Yes, it is going to be interesting. So how's it been this season for them? Well, I think they started the season with a 3-2 home win against Reading, and then this was followed up with 2 away games, a 0-0 draw against Birmingham City and a 3-1 win at Swansea. Back home, they then beat Nottingham Forest 1-0, and then they did have a heavy defeat, but it was against Fulham, who were flying high at the time. And yeah, let's be fair, apart from that Coventry game, they still are. They lost 3-0 at that one. And Then back at home, they had 2 consecutive games, first beating Huddersfield Town 2-1, and then the only home draw to date, 1-1 against Barnsley. Look, we spoke about the last game that they had, and that was against Sheffield United, where they put in a pretty good performance. Now, our last visit to the Potteries was January this year, and that's one where the Cherries scored late on with Junior Stanislas. In league games played away at Stoke, Bournemouth have won 4, drawn 2, and lost 8. So it's not going to be easy. In terms of their team news, Morgan Fox and Seema, they have been out injured. Tyrese Campbell is back in training for them, and Alfie Doherty has been ill. But the player to watch, Morgan, is Nick Powell. He scored 6 goals, I think, in all competitions, and we will need to be wary of him. But who would you say that Stoke need to be wary of a Cherries player?
Wow, it could be anyone on that pitch after what we saw the other night. Now, I would probably say Dom Solanke if they leave him too exposed on his own, because he's just putting the ball in the back of the net when he's given that opportunity this season. Much improved, we probably would say, from last season. I would also say someone like Ryan Christie. I think he's proven a threat, and he's not close, too far away from hitting that ball in the back of the net either. And even someone maybe like Jordan Samora, that Thunderbolt effort on Saturday was incredible. Yes, okay, he's a left back, or sometimes we push him up, and you might say more looking on the wing in play. We like to push our fullbacks up, but if he's going to hit the ball that hard, then you expect him to cut in or do a little cross, or he's capable of anything. So there's a lot of attacking options that AFC Bournemouth have got to be, Stoke have got to be wary of. And also, just to throw in there, even Phil Billing can get himself a nice little slick goal. That goal, I think, a couple of games ago at Dean Court was incredible. A nice little dink finish into the far right-hand pass to keeper, no chance. So Stoke have got to be on their game, but I think, obviously, with it being at the Bet365 Stadium, we shouldn't be going there taking anything for granted. And let's just hope it's not a repeat of maybe that Hull trip, 0-0, or that Petersburg trip, because they were pretty boring games to watch. And we did have chances, but we just didn't put the ball in the net. And if you don't put the ball in the back of the net, you do not win a football game. It's as simple as that. Yeah.
Could have put it better myself. The referee today is Dean Whitestone. He was in charge, actually, for our opening game against West Brom. How are we going to do, and whereabouts are we having a J2O beforehand? Let's find out. Drink responsibly. Okay, so there you go. There's a lovely little map of Stoke there, and as you zoom in, you can see the Bet365 Stadium there. And can you see the little map pin? The Harvester at Trentham Lakes is where most people are going to be having a drink. We've actually booked a table just in case, but I think you'll be all right. You might not have to book it, but that's right by the stadium. There's also a Holiday Inn nearby as well if you want some parking that costs around about 10 quid. I think there's a few spaces left if you haven't booked somewhere up already. Also, you can see there Power League Stoke-on-Trent as well. Do you remember goal football at Cardiff? Kind of like that. It's a sports centre that's got a bar, so if you want to also have a drink there, you can go to Power League as well. But I think most people are going to be going to the Harvester. And look, we're not going to be taking swathes of Cherries fans for this one. It's a match that's live on Sky, and I don't even know how many we've sold, but either way, it'd be nice to chat and have a drink. Looking for some new faces as well to come on the vlog. If you want to have a chat, come up to me or Tom or Steve Hensman, who's going to be around, and we'll organise that. Also, the free for all as well. We had a comment on one of our anonymous feedback forms saying, you always get the same faces on, but literally, I stand there. And if anyone new wants to come on, you can. It's not like I have people lined up. Like people, want to, contribute their views that always contribute. The likes of Steve Hensman, Tiggs, Tom, all the regulars. But also, it would be nice to have a few more people on as well. And we're open to that. So, looking forward to having a drink with you beforehand. Let's see a few comments that are coming on screen. What have we got here? We got Byron.
Be a bit.
Yeah, go on.
Be a bit hard for a vlog from an Australia.
Yeah, Robbie Sargent says Harvester's booked for 5:45. Soup for me. Yeah, we've got a table booked from 5. Probably been a little bit too optimistic there. What about the parking situation? What does Robbie say there, Morgan?
parking or rather getting away after the ground is always a nightmare. I have put parking space towards the south of Stanley Matthews Way, offer a reasonable getaway.
Yeah, Bob Street Harvester, indeed, obviously do sell food. Not sure about the other place. Right, okay. What we're going to do then is ask for your predictions. Morgan's going to be going through them very, very quickly, and then we're going to zip through the team. This was only meant to be a half-hour show today, so we'll literally have to zip through the Bournemouth side, hopefully with your help. So everyone who's watching, put your predictions on the chat. If you're not usually a YouTube typer, do it anyway. Pop your predictions, and we will get them on screen very, very shortly. We'll give you about a minute to do so, and I think they're starting to come in now. So, Morgan, firstly, can I have yours?
Prediction: I'm gonna be positive. I'm gonna go for a 2-1 Bournemouth. But if it doesn't, but I'm hoping it. But I know it's going to be a nitty-gritty game, and it may not come in. But I'm going to go 2-1 Bournemouth.
Right then. So, what have other people predicted, Morgan?
Andrew saying 1-1, 1-1 from Robbie. Chris Hubble saying 2-1 like myself.
That's what I like to see, Chris.
2-2. Luke. AFC Bournemouth Germany going 1-1 with Billen to score. I like that from Germany. Going 2-1 for Mark Cole.
Love it.
Lots of draws.
Yeah.
0-0 says Bob. 2-1 says Chris.
Yeah,
to the Potters, I think that's 1-0 to the Cherries. I like that.
What else have we
Seth
got?
Martin.
Yeah, you know what? I'm getting lucky. Like, yeah, there we go. 1-0 Kelly. Yeah, go on then, Morgan.
1-0 says Ashley with a Billing goal. 3-0 says Rob Welsh. If that happens, I'll be incredible. 2-1 to the Cherries, says Brian. Dave says 2-0 AFCB. 2-1 again, said Lid. 2-2, says Sky. 1-1. Heather says 1-0 to AFC Bournemouth.
Have a guess what Sammy's gone for. Is it even? Go on. What do you think? 3-1, of course, Shaz.
3-1, of course. Yeah, absolutely. I reckon it'd be a draw tonight.
3-2 says Will as well, and Simon K is gone for a 1-1 there. Andy in Dublin. Hello, mate. Yeah, Simon K's gone.
Maybe we have to get a humble pie for Simon.
Yes, we might have to get a humble pie. So, look, Morgan, there's going to be a lot of hard decisions for Scott Parker to make, but to be fair, that's how we want it in terms of his team, because like ultimately there's a certain little Irish midfielder that plays for the under-21s should really be playing for the actual main side. I swear it, but he had such a cracking game at the weekend. I think everyone had him as a man of the match. I don't know quite why Sky Bet. They must use a metric that is completely different. But they had Jack Stacey in there. Fine, he did have a great game. But Gavin Kilkenny, he absolutely pulled the strings for Bournemouth, and for some reason he was nowhere to be seen. But Morgan, at this point in time, I think it's probably best that we sort our team, right?
Absolutely. Let's choose the starting 11.
So I think we should zip through these. If you're on chat, literally just put the number of the player on screen there. So 1, Travers, 5, Stacey, or 5, Smith, or whatever. We'll start with 1.
It'd be Travs.
Yeah, I mean that one. And okay, and everyone on chat, do player 5 as well. It's going to be Smith or Stacey. Very difficult to keep certain players out after such good performances. But player 1, you're going for Travers. I won't type Morgan like I did last time. So there we go. Player 5. This is a difficult one, Morgan, isn't it? Because Stacey did do really well from that position.
Yeah, he was so much more improved. I love Jack Stacey's energy running down. He's so much better attacking wise than someone like Adam Smith. I would go Stacey personally, like the chat is saying, because we just don't know. Adam Smith had picked up a knock in training that no one knew about. For me, it would be Stacey, but it could be Smith. But for me, I would say Jack Stacey. I don't know if you agree, Sam.
Yeah, you know what? We're not going to do player 2 and 3. We're not. And you know what? We won't even do player 4. Is there any point, Morgan? I'm not sure there is. Look, we have to be like sort of.
It'd just be Lloyd Cahill and Jay-Z. You can't drop any of them at the moment.
Lloyd, we got Gary Cahill, and we've got Jordan Zamora. Now this is the real real tricky one. And oh my God, player 6. Anyone help out? Tom Jordan on Twitter, he put a tweet earlier. What do we do with that midfield 3? He says, do we do Gav, Lerma, or Billing? Do we do Pearson, Lerma, Billing? Pearson, Lerma, Christie. We know he can play in there. Gav, Christie, and Billing. Gav, Lerma, and Christie. Lerma, Christie, and Billing. Christie can move wide, but then Jamal Lowe. It's like, what on earth do you do? So what are we doing? Are we rewarding Kilkenny for that performance? Or do you think that Pearson is more built for that role? I've got no idea. Morgan, what are your initial thoughts?
It's really tricky. I personally wouldn't be dropping Gav, but then none of us knew. I don't know about you, but until about 4 o'clock when Mr. Temple put it, I didn't know that Pearson he got yellow after the 4-time whistle at Peterborough, so he or something. So he was on 5 bookings. That's why he missed Saturday. For me, you're gonna have to put Lerma's definitely in there. In number 8.
Okay, so shall I just cut to the chase and put what you want me to put Lerma in there now, yeah?
Yeah, so I would say Lerma's definitely in there for me. I don't know if you agree with that.
So
most people.
So, let's think forward then. So does that mean Lowe is not starting? Because I presume you'd probably put Christie out on that right side as opposed to Lowe, right?
Yes, I would say so. That's not to be disrespectful. I thought Lowe had a good game, but I don't think he's going to start this evening against Stoke City. So, yeah, most people are saying Pearson and most people are saying Lerma. So I would start Pearson and Lerma.
Okay, so and what that also does, option, we that means we can slightly alter our shape. So if Stoke are pressing a lot, we can then adopt that, like the double pivot. As all these phrases, number 9s, number 10s, I don't understand it, but I think I've only just come round to knowing what on earth, a double pivot is, and that's basically where you've got the 2 sat in front of the defensive 4. So that, this is what Tom's going for. Not everyone is agreeing with this in chat, and I can see why, because Gav Kilkenny, it's so hard. Neil Dawson put out a tweet that went viral, but like what you can do, if our backs are against the walls, you can do this. But we know that Lerma has got the ability to play really well. So that means that Billing's in player 7 role, right?
Absolutely. I don't think you could drop Billing. He did look a bit leggy towards the end, but I think that's only natural. I think we were controlling the game from start to finish and we didn't stop pressing. We were always hungry to get more, and that's what Chris Temple and Wello mentioned in commentary. So yeah, for me, and that it sounds really negative with obviously with Gav. That might not happen. This is only what we're thinking, but yeah, thanks for that, Tom. He loves me because I put Lerma in.
And you know what? This is, there are some disagreements in chat, obviously respectful, but that's what we want, isn't it? That's what we want. We don't want to be knowing exactly who we're going to be playing. And, if we don't know, that means the opposition don't know.
No, I think that's...
how do they plan for not knowing? And this is ultimately a really good conversation that we're having. So to have this wealth of riches, look, Jamal Lowe did well. He got on the score sheet. He could be playing in role 10. Christie could be playing where Lerma is, but it looks like Christie's going to be pushed out to player 10. Is that right?
Yeah, I assume so. To be honest, we got so much more strength. And in other previous years at AFC Bournemouth, it's always been, unless there are injuries or suspensions, it's always been kind of the same team. These days, you don't know. People could be dropped. There's so much competition, and it must drive these players on to want to start every single game they possibly can. It's excellent. You've got Jamal Lowe, you've got Robbie Brady coming in, you've got even Emi Monconda that's nowhere to be seen at the moment. It's fantastic. There's so many options. So yeah, on the right, I would go Christie. And I assume on the other flank, you would go Mr. Anthony from his recent performance as well. I don't think he's been too bad lately either.
And Aaron Kay makes a point, wait till Lewis is back. Look, Junior Stanislas is coming back as well. It's actually scary. And you know what? What I like about what we got this time is... and I think Benjamin Bloom said this, there's no obvious star now in the side, which is obviously last season we had, Dan Jima, which makes me feel fairly good about, the transfer window in January as well. I'm sure we'll have some bids, but there's no obvious star that we're thinking, oh my God, what happens if they go? I don't think they will. And they're obviously part of a squad and they've got a mentality at the moment where they're just winners. And tell you what, if it's Scott Parker and his team that's instilled that, absolutely superb. And things are looking really positive. Simon Kay, as you saw just then, put a message about Stoke looking soft on the counter, and he mentions the fact that Stanislas could be number 8 as well. An absolute wealth of riches. Lerma and Pearson fresh as well, says Aaron Kay. Absolutely. That's probably decided it for me then. But, the only harsh thing, I suppose, is the fact that Gav Kilkenny might be missing out. As Will said, it feels like a team and one the fans can get behind. And look, as Andrew said, he loves Lowe's energy. The bench, when David Brooks is back as well. Oh, my God. Of course, players are not always fit at the same time, are they, Morgan? But contrast our bench now with what we had at the start of the season. It's completely different, isn't it?
It's incredible, and even before obviously the news about David Brooks, as you were alluding to, then people like David Brooks, Jack Stacey, Emi Monconda, our bench is so much stronger, and it's just really amazing to see. And I think what's gonna I know that people have favourites, and certain people have got to start. This is a 46 game season, even maybe a bit longer than that. If we do go to the playoffs, hopefully we'll get automatics and make it a bit easier this season on ourselves. I'm not sure I can put myself through that again, but if we do have to go maybe into the playoffs and get up that way to the Premier League or the 46 game, it's a long season. That it's going to be changes. Not every single player, as well as the international duty as well. So we're going to need a squad, and everyone's going to get their chance if they perform well. So yeah, it's really exciting. And I don't know about you, Sam, but it's just incredible, really.
And as Sky Blue Jim says, don't forget Brady as well.
Absolutely.
And we touched on him at the start of the show here. And it is. It's Gary O'Neill going up for a header as well. And he's going to offer some experience there as well. And make sure you capture the full interview with him on AFCB TV. There's some viewing for you between now and kickoff. And also there's a great The Day Of program as well, where you see the behind the scenes of him walking into Dean Court and all the stuff he's got to go through. So make sure you check that out. Right, before we go, there are some rumours circulating on Twitter. This man could become the Newcastle manager. It's only Twitter, right? Is it a good fit for him, or do you think he's basically, go into a place like that? Would he just be like a stepping stone, Morgan?
I personally don't think it's the right move for Eddie Howe. Especially, they just had a massive takeover, and yes, okay, people might say he can buy who he wants and rebuild his squad and stuff, which kind of makes me a bit nervous because he might be after some of our players. Hopefully not. No, I personally don't think it's the right move for Eddie Howe, and I think he wants to be he wants to be local with his family. That's maybe why he did finish at AFC Bournemouth when he did. I know he wanted to take some time out. So I personally don't think it's the right move. Obviously, he's got my blessing. Eddie Howe is a lovely guy. He's a really good manager, and he's dedicated to his job, as we saw for the years he was with us. But for me, I don't think it's the right opinion for him to make the trip up to Tyneside. He has to manage Fraser again.
He'd have to manage Fraser again, which is an excellent point and something that I didn't really think about. I don't know. It just... he's not a manager that I've always thought his strength is bringing through players through the leagues, but Newcastle are not that side now. Certain Premier League clubs are, if he was to join them. If he was to join Celtic, he'd be manager. And look, if any Newcastle fans are watching, we did say we'd touch on it. Reasons why he could be a good fit: superb man management. He has got an eye for bringing through lower league talent. Not that you'll need it with all the cash riches that you'd have. He's the hardest worker at the club, works really diligently. First one in, last one out. And, he's articulate. He's guarded with it, but he's very professional in his media interviews. He won't throw anyone under a bus. So in terms of being a good sort of ambassador and spokesperson for the club after every game, he's your man. Obviously, the footballing philosophy that he's got, play from the back, calm under pressure as well, himself, and also with the way he manages his players as well. He's a big believer in self-improvement, but would you need self-improvement when you've got Mbappe and Neymar on your team sheet? I know it won't happen at once, but they've got the money to be able to do that. He's also got a lot of managerial admirers as well, some really good close connections with other managers throughout the league, throughout Europe as well. Always at the end of a phone for him if he needs any help. He's a player that he's a manager that has gained a lot of admirers. So certainly one that will be able to pull some strings if he needs to. he's fiercely loyal as well. And Geordies love that, and his teams will pass the ball and they will dominate. But is he a good fit? All will be revealed. Morgan, Stoke City away, rainy, wet, cold, horrible. But we wouldn't have it any other way, would we?
Nah, absolutely. It's going to be a pleasure joining you, Tej, Lucy, and Mr. Henchman. Wonder what he'll do in the car today. Is it a seatbelt issue? Is it setting the car on fire? We'll have to wait and see. That is only a joke, by the way, for anyone scared on YouTube. But looking forward to it, and I'm sure it's going to be a nice, enjoyable away day in Stoke. So yeah, let's get going.
Thanks to everyone that is supporting the channel. If you want to become a monthly donator, we've got it's Telegram, which is basically the trendy WhatsApp, but it enables us to chat away and give you a few exclusives behind the scenes, also a few first looks at some YouTube content that goes out on this channel, and just generic AFC Bournemouth chat and a few cheeky little rumours that we hear every now and then as well. So if you want to join that, anyone that's on the Legends wall can do so. Your name will be at the end of every show, and to be on that wall, it's afcbpodcast.com/coffee. Just remember, we'll be outside the ground afterwards in the pissing wet. We cannot wait for that. But also make sure you as well, if you can, leave your anonymous feedback for the channel as well. afcbpodcast.com/feedback. We'll take any criticisms or whatever, because we just want to improve the offering that we do. And look, I've got a thick skin, so I'll be able to take you saying that Sam's a load of crap, get him off, whatever. I don't care. We need to improve the channel as we go up to the Premier League. Who knows? And maybe we can continue that today, Morgan. I haven't given my prediction. Do you want to hear it?
Go on.
I think we're going to win 2-0, mate. I like that. I think we're going to win 2-0. I think I've seen Stoke play, and they are susceptible for a counter-attack, and we know that we can do that with Ryan Christie on the right, raking long balls across the pitch to the feet of Jordan Zamora, who takes on his fullback with consummate ease and then smashes it into the top left-hand corner. I think we'll be all right, mate. And if we do, what a statement of intent it's going to be, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. And if that does happen, I'll buy you a J2L on the way back from Warwick. So no, hopefully it should be an interesting one. But no, it's going to be an exciting day. It's all about I don't know about you, Sam, but it's about building up. The long grim trip up to Stoke, the getting some food beforehand. And it's I don't know about you, but for away days, it's about making memories in the highlight of in the Bournemouth history. Absolutely. It's not just about you go down to Dean Court, you go in the 1910, you have a drink. It's a touch different, and it's always nice to tick off. I know I've done it before, and I'm sure you have as well, but it's always if you haven't ever done a ground before, it's always nice to tick off one out of the 92 clubs. So yeah, looking forward to this, and hopefully we'll come back with 3 points.
Thanks for watching, guys. The free-for-all after the game, come on camera. If not, after watching it on Sky, you know where to go onto YouTube to see some fans' reactions. Hopefully happy. My name's Sam Davis.
I'm Morgan Scott.
Up the Cherries. See you in the next one.